Good Friday evening and welcome to the Ncwlife Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Before we get to today's top news stories, let's take a quick look outside our weather window. And yeah, it was a beautiful day today, but just on the cold side. And as you look out from our Omi Gardens camera looking back at the Wenatchee Valley, it just looks cold out there, doesn't it? A little bit of snow on the mountaintops there, but temperatures today struggled just to get above 30 degrees for most of us in north central Washington. But this weather pattern is going to be replaced by a much wetter weather pattern. In fact, two storm systems to tell you about. The first one will move in on Sunday, bringing us a pretty decent chance for some snow all across central and eastern Washington. The Cascades could see 6 to 12 inches of snow Sunday night into Monday morning, about an inch or two here in the Wenatchee area. So that's storm number one. Storm number two will move our way on Tuesday of next week, and I think that's going to pack a little bigger punch as we move into Tuesday. It is a bigger and wetter storm system. I think we may see rain mixed with snow for this one, but that will last most of the day on Tuesday into Tuesday night and Wednesday morning. So if you are traveling this weekend and early next week, boy, just be careful out there because the passes and the mountain areas of Washington are going to see a lot of snow over the next 4 or 5 days. Much more on that in your weather forecast coming up a little bit later on. And now a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. If you're planning a trip to Leavenworth for the second weekend of the annual Christmas Lighting Festival, there are some things you should probably know. We'll tell you. The final phase in the hiring of a new Wenatchee School District Superintendent will include a community forum. And local toy drive volunteers were out at a middle school today to accept student donations. But first, we begin tonight an investigation into a report of a man trying to pass a forged check at a Wenatchee bank in October led to the arrest Thursday of a suspect in numerous mail thefts and frauds. Wenatchee police said 56-year-old Frank R. Lara was arrested at his home in East Wenatchee, where police said they found evidence of forgery, counterfeiting, mail theft, and other fraud. Also found was a .44 Magnum revolver. Numerous law enforcement agencies participated in the arrest, and the items found are being examined for further charges in other jurisdictions. Wenatchee police advise people to closely monitor their mail deliveries, especially this time of year when gifts, checks, cash, and gift cards are often delivered. Well, if you're planning a trip to Leavenworth for the second weekend of the annual Christmas Lighting Festival, there are some things you should probably know. First, this is expected to be the busiest weekend of the three-weekend festival, so expect lots of drivers to be sharing that journey with you. Second, the State Department of Transportation has created some graphics to let you know when to expect the heaviest traffic flows. That traffic could add up to an hour or more to your trip, so you best leave if traveling during those times. Basically, any time from noon to 7 p.m. on Saturday is expected to be packed with stop-and-go vehicles from the junction of Highway 2 and Highway 97 to Leavenworth. Even from 10 to 11 a.m. you can expect minor delays according to the DOT. Leaving town and heading east on Saturday, you'll again hit stop-and-go traffic from 5 to 8 p.m. If you stick around until 10 p.m., you should find smooth sailing out of town. Sunday should be much less stressful for travelers, with only minor delays expected from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. The heaviest traffic leaving town Sunday is expected at 5 p.m., but even then, only minor delays. In Leavenworth itself, changes have freed up the flow of traffic for the most part, officials report. Traffic signals are turned off, and a private firm is providing traffic control to get people through there as quickly as possible. Well, the final phase in the hiring of a new Wenatchee School District Superintendent will include a community forum where predetermined questions will be asked of the finalists. The school board this week, on the advice of its hiring consultant, also decided to create a committee of 15 to 20 stakeholders who will meet with finalists for 2 hours and review feedback during the selection process. The group will include teachers, students, parents, and community members. They will be picked by lottery from a list of interested people. The board hopes to hire a new superintendent by mid-March. Current Superintendent Brian Flonis is retiring next August after 19 years of running the district. Local toy drive volunteers were out at a middle school today to accept students' donation.
We're here for the Les Schwab Community Toy Driver at Foothills, and they got us a bunch of toys.
You're kidding.
Not kidding.
That's awesome.
True story.
Brief interruption. Just wanted to
check, we have our friends from Les Schwab here to pick out the toy drive items that we have as a school donated. If there are any toys still remaining in your classroom, please let us know and we'll come up and pick them up.
Watch out for that one.
Okay.
We've got Grace, and I didn't get everybody else's names. Your name?
Callista. Erica.
Manuel. I'm Marco Van.
And that guy.
I'm Brent.
We know him from TV and radio from Country 104.7 KKRV. It's the Les Schwab Community Toy Drive. Now, something that has been going on actually at Foothills longer than the toy drive itself is you guys have been helping out CASA for quite a while. Is that right?
We have. For a number of years, we continue to support CASA and the work that they do with needy families.
Well, and CASA is one of the recipient organizations through the Les Schwab Community Toy Drive. Now, Grace has been, did you choose this or did they make you be the spokesperson?
They made me be the spokesperson. Yes.
But you are the, what, student body president?
Yes, I'm the ASB president here.
Okay, all right. So tell me about when this began and how did you guys come up with all of this?
Well, we started it on November 19th and ended today, obviously, on the 7th. And so it's just something that we're all very passionate about here at Foothills. We want to make sure that everyone has toys for Christmas. So we decided to put this on as a part of ASB, and I think it was a really good turnout from what we got.
You know, Brent, what I love is that, you know, you and I are not as young as these, obviously, but this, ladies and gentlemen, has been a popular gift since you and I were kids.
Spans generations. I like this one too, right here.
Yeah, you betcha, baby. Back of the bedroom door. There we go. Well, I'll tell you what, thank you to Foothills Middle School. Thank you guys and to the student body and to the teaching staff and everybody else for helping to support CASA through the great work that they do, as well as helping us with the Les Schwab Community Toy Drive.
Thank you for your efforts as well.
It's the Les Schwab Community Toy Drive at Foothills Middle School.
The toy drive will be out at Hooked on Toys tomorrow for another collection event from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Coming up next, Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett talked about school security issues in a recent panel discussion on TVW. Campus security is back on the agenda at Monday's Wenatchee School Board meeting. And once again, Sheriff Brian Burnett has been appointed to the Board of Commissioners of the Washington State Criminal Justice Training Commission. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the Ncwlife Evening News.
Arctic Refrigeration and Heating has been serving North Central Washington for 34 years. Arctic provides the finest heating and cooling air quality products for residential and commercial customers, along with prompt and professional customer service. Arctic also offers specialty services like custom sheet metal fabrication of ductwork, coil cleaning, as well as planned fall and spring maintenance for the overall well-being of your system. Arctic is available for emergency calls 24/7. Call Arctic Refrigeration and Heating for your heating and cooling needs.
Thanks to the help I received at Goodwill,
I have a job. I'm working now. Thanks to Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Thank you, Goodwill.
Goodwill's Employment Connection Center is a free walk-in job search assistance program designed to get you back to work. When you donate to or shop at Goodwill, you're really helping people find work.
Thank you. Goodwill, there's more behind the store.
Welcome back. And in other news, Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett talked about school security issues in a recent panel discussion on TVW. Burnett appeared on the program Inside Olympia as a member of a school mass shooting working group, which was created to make recommendations to the legislature on issues related to school security. In its final report that was issued this week, additional school resource officers, which Burnett supports.
I think we're more interested in to say we want to provide adequate and training that's consistent across the state to say when if school districts and agencies decide to partner together and put school resource officers in their schools, to have something that's a standardized training to say we're all on board, that they're getting the training to do. But also I would say that one of the key components of that is not just having an officer in there, it's having the right officer. You have to have someone that's a mindset and the heart set to be able to go in and work with the schools. As Vanessa, you know, being a previous school teacher and in junior high area, that takes a fit. So you have to have a screening process that brings in the right person. So I don't know that the group definitely was going to be in agreement to say it should be state funded, although there was a lot of ideas and thoughts on how that would work and it would be beneficial. As far as the law enforcement side was pretty consistent that they believe that the SRO programs within Washington State, or at least the ones from our agencies that were representative there, were having great success in our school districts.
Burnett was joined on the program by Vanessa Hernandez with the American Civil Liberties Union, who opposed school resource officers.
We have concerns about investing our state resources and prioritizing the placement of additional police officers in schools. And there's a couple of reasons for that. The first is that, you know, though school resource officers may have benefits to relationships between the law enforcement agencies and the school community, there isn't actually any evidence that they prevent or deter mass shootings. You know, there was a recent study that came out of North Carolina just a couple of days ago after we submitted the minority report, where they actually tracked state funding for SROs and compared schools that had increased school police presence because they received state funding. And what they found was that there was no impact on school violence whatsoever. And the Nonpartisan Congressional Research Service has done 2 reviews of all of the literature on SROs, and both times concluded there's no empirical evidence that school police officers deter or prevent mass shooting.
The work group recommendations also included creating a multi-stage threat assessment process and extreme risk protection orders. Recommendations also call for more accessible and effective mental health services. The program can be viewed online at tvw.org. Campus security is also back on the agenda at Monday's Wenatchee School Board meeting. Board members are set to take action on a request by Police Chief Steve Crown to return the high school resource officer's rifle to its lock safe inside the school building. Crown's request was heard at a school board work session last month. Superintendent Brian Flonis says he had ordered the gun removed as an administrative action based upon school board concerns. Board member Sunny Hemphill shared her concerns about the weapon at that work session meeting last month.
I think what we are talking about is the concept, the thing that happens emotionally when suddenly our community hears, oh, well, the school put a gun there. Great. And I wasn't part of that decision. I don't think any of us were. And I'm uncomfortable with this being an administrative decision with no discussion from our community. Yep. I'm not trying to be difficult or to disrespect the decision that has been made. I am saying, as an elected board member, I'm not comfortable with this.
The board is slated to discuss the issue again at their Tuesday regular meeting, and Flonis says action will be taken. You're watching the NCW Life Evening News. Coming up next, tonight's feature story and your complete local weather forecast. That and much more still to come on the NCW Life Evening News. Stay with us.
Dear Merry Maids, please clean the kitchen, and the cabinets, and floors, and the chairs. And I wish you could clean the dog. Colin is now feeding himself. Thanks, Megan.
Hi, Megan. No worries. We got it all cleaned up. Let's hope Colin gets past the spaghetti flinging stage soon. Till then, we've got you covered. See you next time. Merry Maids.
Sir, I pulled you over today to ask you one thing. Is it true that Apple Valley Honda has a free lifetime warranty on every new Honda?
Officer, I'm glad you asked. Our lifetime warranty comes free on all of our new Hondas. That means you won't have to pay a dime for any major expenses. That could save you thousands. And no, you do not have to service with us. It's a great peace of mind, officer.
Wow, my wife and I have wanted the new Accord. We'll see you this weekend.
Welcome back to the NCW Life Evening News. In tonight's feature story, gaining support from local businesses and wineries, 2 Manson High School students are setting up to tackle a growing issue in their community, recycling glass.
We lost community recycling during our junior year last spring, and both of our families are huge recyclers, so this was a big deal to us. And we also have a lot of friends that are in the business, like wine business and restaurant business around the area, so that impacted them too. We did a lot more like in-depth research on why not only our community lost recycling, but also the U.S., like communities around the U.S. are losing recycling. There's no money in recycling as of right now. And Zippy Disposal Service started a recycling business, but that didn't involve glass recycling. So we were kind of looking at what could we do, and we know that our valley has a lot of glass being distributed every day, so we decided to look into different ways we could recycle glass. Talking to Carmen Fretwell, who owns North Shore Cafe, she had mentioned that a couple years ago they brought down a machine, the GL sand, and it crushes the glass into a fine sander grit like this. And then you can reuse that product in gardens. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
Gardens, it goes into back into asphalt, and we thought this was cool. You could remelt it into more glass, so like you can make little glass things, projects, But we're going to be putting it into sandbags, and that's going to kind of be our main use for it right now.
It is our service project as seniors, and we've met so many amazing community members, and just like we talked with Mayor Cooney a couple weeks ago, and we've met with lots of local people who are interested in this and really want to help us out. So that was really awesome.
Yeah, and both of us are really like involved in the community anyway. So we thought this would be cool to kind of start
and give back to our community too. I think it's also one of those things, like you can say it's really great, but actually getting involved in that requires a lot more work. So lots of people have come to us and are willing to help with whatever we need. Donations has been a really big thing. We have a GoFundMe page, and we also put jars around different wineries to bring in donations too. So the total cost of the machine is $6,000, or we can lease to own it for $325 a month. We're going to try and just buy it outright, and hopefully that happens this month. That way we can start filling sandbags and selling them. We're selling them through the building supply in Manson and Chelan. So Brett Lamar is actually a family friend. We kind of showed him what it looks like. Probably this weekend we'll go down and grab one of the sandbags. There's a certain weight that we have to fill it up to. And we have like half a garbage can at my house of sand from the last time they brought in the machine and tried it out. So we're just kind of going to experiment with that. But it's the same pitch we're giving you that we gave to him and multiple other businesses. It would actually be housed at North Shore Cafe. We talked to Carmen Fretwell again about that, and she thinks that's a great idea for it. And then the product, we're going to be putting it, I think, in apple bins, and we're going to line it with a garbage bag, and we'll kind of keep the sand there. Personally, I've learned a lot about kind of starting your own business, if I were to ever do that with something like this, and the people that are involved in that process.
And so have I. It's been really fun. Like, I have an uncle that has his own business, and so now just kind of learning about kind of having your own small business is pretty cool.
What a great idea. Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. But before we get into the details, and there are lots of details to get to, let's take a beautiful look outside our weather window in our Omi Garden Sky-Fi tower camera, showing us some mid-level stratus clouds, which we've had out there almost all day today. We thought we might see a little sunshine this afternoon, which we thought would get us to about 33, 34 degrees. Just didn't happen that way. It stayed cold throughout the Wenatchee Valley, and our high today actually about about where we should be for this time of year. We topped off at 30, so a little bit below 34. We thought we'd get there. We didn't. 23 is where we started our day this morning. 25 is our normal low. 51, the record high set back in 1991. And 3 degrees, our record low in 1972. Sunrise this morning, 7:34, and the sunset this afternoon at 4:10. Now let's put that surface loop in motion and show you what we can expect moving into the weekend. Not much happening as we move into Saturday, but I'm sure you can see all this activity out in the Pacific. We will see mostly cloudy skies on Saturday, and you can see that tiny little band of snow showers. That could bring us a stray flurry or two on Saturday, but this is where we begin to get wet. At noon on Sunday, a 60% chance of snow as this moves through Washington State. We could see about an inch or two on Sunday. Sunday night, 9 o'clock, that goes up to 70% chance. We could see another inch or two as this system continues to work its way through. Monday, kind of our in-between weather day. Not much happening Monday. We'll see mostly cloudy skies. A warm front will also move through, getting our temperatures to about 40 degrees. But here we go on Tuesday, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, a 70% chance of snow. This has more of a northwest orientation to it, so a good chance that we will see some snow Tuesday. A 70% chance of snow on Tuesday night. Another 1 to 2 inches is possible. And then as we move into Wednesday, about a 40% chance that we'll see maybe some leftover snow flurry activity. On Wednesday, most of that will be throughout the morning hours, a few scattered showers in the afternoon. A bit of a break on Thursday of next week, and then another big storm moves in just in time for our next weekend. Let's take a look now at your quick lube and tune forecast tonight. Low temperature about like this morning at 25 degrees. We will slowly warm up, mostly cloudy and 35 with isolated showers on Saturday, but this is where it gets wet. A 70% chance for snow on Sunday and 36. A bit of a break on Monday and 40 degrees, and then a good chance for snow on Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. 36 your high on Tuesday, 38 on Wednesday, and then just some isolated snow showers on Thursday with high temperatures then in the upper 30s. And that's a look at your local weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCW Life Evening News continues right after this.
Bob's Burgers and Brew in Wenatchee. Only the best.
I'm Tom from Alpine Air Heating and Cooling. At Alpine Air, we think of ourselves as customer service-oriented retailers. When you make an appointment, please visit our store, meet our people, see our shop. We are serious about heating and air conditioning. Carrier and Alpine Air are offering huge factory rebates and financing options for all your needs. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Alpine Air. Call for your free replacement estimate. Heat and air, call Alpine Air, 662-6846.
Bob's Burgers and Brew in Wenatchee. Only the best.
And now it's a sports update on the NCW Life channel.
And a happy Finally Friday to you. Let's go to the Les Schwab Prep Scoreboard in basketball last night. On the boys' side, it was Etihad edging Cascade Christian 42-39. On the girls' side, Tigers cruised to a 16-21 victory. Girls bowling yesterday, the Wenatchee Panthers traveled to Yakima, narrowly defeated West Valley 3-1. Total pin count 1937 to 1860. High scorers Hannah Johnson with a 213, Emily Groth with a 180, Kyla Hankins with a 177 and 173. Both Wenatchee and Eastmont in Tacoma today for the Tower Classic. That starts today and then tomorrow. Up on the prep schedule for today in girls basketball, Cashmere is in Omak, Chelan hosting Okanagan, Meade at Eastmont, and Wenatchee hosts Ferris. We'll have that live here on the NCW Life channel coming up 5:30 pregame, 5:45 tip time from Wenatchee High School. B basketball tonight, Manson hosting Bridgeport, while Cascades at Waterville Mansfield, Etihad playing at Mount Vernon Christian. On the boys slate for tonight, well, it's going to look very similar, just different start times. Wenatchee at Ferris, it's a 7:15 start time for Cashmere at Omak, and Chelan hosting Okanagan. Meade and Eastmont will get underway at 7:30. as will Bridgeport at Manson and Cascade at Waterville-Mansfield. Etihad has a late start tonight at 8 against Mount Vernon Christian. Coming up tomorrow on the calendar, first it's the girls basketball slate. Etihad at LaConner at noon. Wenatchee hosts Meade at 1:45. Eastmont's on the road at Ike at 5:45, while Chelan hosts LaSalle. Cashmere girls will have the late start tomorrow, 7:15 against Granger. On the boys basketball schedule for Saturday, Etihad's at LaConner. They'll tip it up at 1:30. Wenatchee at Meade at 3:30. The Cashmere boys host Granger before the girls game at 5:45, and it's 7:30 start time for LaSalle at Chelan and Eastmont at Eisenhower. On the wrestling mats this weekend, the Wenatchee girls are at Foss High School for the Judy Emery Invite beginning tomorrow morning at 8. Eastmont girls are at the Warden Invite tomorrow morning at 10. On the boys' side, Eastmont travels to Central Valley and Spokane for the Inland Empire. Started today, will resume tomorrow morning at 10. Wenatchee makes its way to South Kitsap for the Olympic duels tomorrow morning at 9. Chelan and Cashmere are in the Connell Invite tomorrow at 10. And Cascade travels to Granger for its tournament. That also starts at 10 o'clock in the morning. Well, it's Pink at the Rink night tonight at the Town Toyota Center, presented by Confluence Health. Tonight's game is a fundraiser for Wellness Place as well as the Relay for Life. There'll be opportunities to help each organization through Chuck-a-Puck and 50-50 raffles. In addition, fans can bid on special Pink at the Rink jerseys in the silent auction during the game or in the live auction afterwards. Game features the Wenatchee Wild and the Penticton V's. It's a home-and-home weekend as the two slug it out for first place in the BCHL's Interior Division. Penticton is 3 points in front of Wenatchee in the standings. Puck will drop tonight at 7:05, followed by a game tomorrow at 6:05 at the South Okanagan Events Center. Well, from hockey to baseball, the Wenatchee Apple Sox rolled out their 20th anniversary logo yesterday as the summer collegiate team celebrates 2 decades of baseball in the Wenatchee Valley. Sox played in the Pacific International League in its first 5 seasons and then joined the West Coast League when it began in 2005. Take heart, baseball fans. You only have 179 days until the first game. Apple Sox taking on Victoria on June 4th. Well, if you get ESPN3, you can watch the Eastern Washington Eagles in the quarterfinals of the FCS 1AA playoffs tomorrow. They'll be at the Red Inferno at Roos Field in Cheney. Eastern hosts UC Davis for a chance to get to the Division II semifinals. That kickoff tomorrow, by the way, at 1 o'clock. Seahawks off until Monday when they'll host the Minnesota Vikings. This game has playoff implications all over the place as they battle for the division lead in the NFC North, while the Seahawks fight for a wild card spot. Pete Carroll says Minnesota provides all kinds of challenges for his club.
Really an exciting matchup. This is a difficult team to play in many ways. They're such a good team across the board. Their numbers are great, and the players, we know so many of these guys are so familiar to us because they've done so much. And Coach Zimmer's system is a problem. So this is the kind of matchup that we need. We need tough matchups with teams that really challenge us in many ways, and this is one of them for sure. And they keep coming at us, so it's just the way it is. But so we got to get cranked up, have a good week, and get ready to go, and look forward to a big opportunity Monday night. You know, there was some talk on the broadcast I hear about the crowd, and I think the 12s will probably go crazy on this one, just like they always do. And let's not leave any doubt at all. Let's be wild and loud and have fun and enjoy the heck out of it. We'll try to play accordingly to make it such. So.
Wow, a little challenge by the coach to the 12s out there. Seahawks and Vikings kick off at 5:15 on ESPN's Monday Night Football. Have a great weekend, everybody. I'm Eric Granstrom. I'll see you with basketball later on. Grant, back to you.
Thanks, Eric. And that's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, you can find us on Facebook or our website at ncwlife.com. And remember, if you see news happening, we'd like to hear from you. You can send us an email at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. Also, keep it right here on the NCW Life channel Monday morning for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley with host Dan Kuntz. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks for joining us and have a great weekend.
NCW Life Channel is your home for local news, local weather, and events including live local high school sports. Watch inspiring local shows featuring local people. Don't miss Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's learn. Guada TV. Street Talk and Other Stuff. The 12th District. Life with Lisa. And the Arbiter of Stoke.
NCW Life Channel is your local TV station.